Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I want to do another patch or square for my Japanese rice bag Shabby Chic theme. So let's wind back a little bit. I did the scrappy string quilt idea. Let me just grab it, it's sitting over here in my project box. I did this one inspired by three ladies on YouTube, but I first saw it with Sonia Steptoe. Hello, Sonia. And she mentioned that she'd seen it from Annie Claxton and Annie had seen it from someone else, and it just goes on and on. You know what YouTube's like. We all get these little inspirations and then away we all go on these tangents. And it was laying down these strips of fabric, stitching them and then embellishing on top again. So Sonia was talking about this and she mentioned a couple other techniques, one of which caught my eye. And I'm like, oh, I haven't done that for a little while. And it's weaving fabrics. And I think it'll work beautifully with this one that I've done. Now, I have no plans for the sides for this bag. I'm literally just putting it out there, seeing what comes my way. So these little ideas will pop up from time to time and I'll just pull the project out and make another square, of which will go onto my Japanese rice bag tote that is I'm using on my desk to store things in. Anyway, let's first of all check my inspiration. Now, in here are all of the tags I did years ago with the Anne Brooks 52 tag challenge. Let me just come up a little bit so you can see, because I've used a huge old antique book. This was a William Shakespeare playbook, I guess. It had all of the William Shakespeare plays in it. The spine was broken and I picked it up at a antique market and I thought, oh, the cover alone, this leather cover, perfect. And I put a brand new spine on it by stitching this piece, and that's one of the tags, because when I made all the pages to hold these tags, and they're all sort of velcroed in with a dot, and underneath is a heap of vintage doilies from my family, so it sort of has number 6 tag. We were looking at buttons and I velcroed them, pinned it, and it was, you know, all about buttons. So Anne gave us a prompt for each one if you're unsure what this was all about. And because I had some spare tags left, I put one here on the spine as my theme, that pink one. I think, not sure what that one was all about. I think it was this wrapped stitch here around this flower, but oh gosh, I can't even remember the names of them. Oh, it's like a million years ago now. There was another tag here, which was a bouquet of flowers. And in here, I did weaving somewhere in here. Like there was tatting, weaving. Where are you? Little hexagons. Oh, the memories. That was another tag. I sort of picked out, I think 4 or 5 that were my favorites and then built a scene around the actual tag. There was another one here. If I remember rightly, it was red. There it is. That's it there. Strips of fabric woven, and then I did little bits of stitching in each of the little squares. So when Sonia mentioned the weaving technique, I thought, oh, that would make a great side. Another tag, and that's the end of the book. So let me get this out of the way. Once you do that little example like that, by doing the 52 tag challenge, it's still up there on YouTube if you did decide to do it. You've then got a great reference to go back to, because there were so many techniques in there. Weaving again popped up when we did the Journal of Stitchery, the Roxy Creations Journal of Stitchery. We had a prompt each week and stitched a page, and this was a great spot for my scrappy dragonfly, and I wove in behind this old what do they call them, pillow slip. You can see, if I bring it up, you can see how it's all woven and then stitched, and then I embellished with this piece of embroidery that I just created a vine, and that is where I've been keeping my squares from the Journal of Stitchery project. And I've got some spare pages in here that I can add more in the future. So I've done the back, I had flip out, so that's where Percy the Peacock went. Remember the series where this vintage piece wouldn't iron onto the fabric that I got out of my mum's sewing machine? So sketched him in here and then embellished him. So that's where Percy lives, in the back. So this is like a flip out in the back of the journal for you know, a landscape sized piece. And there's another one in the front of these. I'm getting blooming sidetracked now. And this was all about mushrooms, just different types of mushrooms to go in the journal. So it's great to have these spare pages. See this little piece of trim? It's just kicking around. I just feel like it matches the whole thing, so I've just pinned it there. And one day I'll stitch something that may include it, and it'll go into my journal. So there's still a few little spots in that journal. Anyway, let's get focused, girl. So here's my project box for this project. So we've got some scraps of fabric. There's our threads that we used on the original, plus some sari silk. That'll be good for weaving. Some spare bits and pieces, and then our decorative threads that I used as my embellishment. And then there's beads and all sorts. So when I did the Japanese rice bag, the blue one, I made some extra linings. So the lining's already done, which is fantastic. I highly recommend you do that. If you're going to do this project, cut a few out. Then the lining just sits to one side. Then I cut all the panels, and they're ready to go with some calico and a little bit of wadding on the back, or felt in this case. And I just grab one out. See, I've still got 3 to go. Who knows what will be on them. I don't think I'll need... Oh, I'll leave it out. You never know. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, and this is the fabric roll that I was pulling from to get, you know, bits and pieces to make this first panel. So let's begin. That's enough talking. So we sort of want to follow this theme, but this time we're going to weave. Now let's have a look at the scraps. Gosh, it's cold this morning. My fingers are cold. This little piece here. I like that bird. I don't think any of these are long enough because they need to be the length of my... Can I get that out of there without using my bird? I might want to use those flowers. Oh, just leave it. There's plenty of fabric. Okay. So let's, oh gosh, you watch. I'm going to unravel this and it's just going to explode. These jelly rolls, they're a great source of fabric, but once you've opened them, they never ever return to their original state. Okay, piece of fabric. Yep, that'll do. So I'm going to cut everything a little bit bigger than what I need, because as the fabrics sort of roll through your weaving process, you usually find that it increases, oh, it uses more than you think it does. So size-wise, I like that every day. See that wording there, every day? I wonder if I can cut a strip off every day as a gift. Can I cut a strip off either side? How tricky can we be? Can we get those words to appear somewhere in our piece? Oops, it's a bit of a dodgy cut. Now you could use a cutting wheel, you know, the quilters use, rotary cutter. You could use that by all means, but I don't know. In the later years of my life, a lot of those technical things that we learnt have gone by the wayside. So I've gone, I'm just going to place them down for now. It's just a case of gathering your strips. Don't think too much about it all. Pick another colour, any colour. Oh, my finger, did I mention I'm cold? My fingers are just like ice this morning. I feel like I need to go and jump back in the shower and just start again. Start my day again. Oh, I like that pink. But, oh, I don't know. I'm overthinking it. And my jelly roll is getting out of control here. I'm looking for, I think, a beigey colour, actually. There's one here. There's a stripe. It's probably a bit big. Oh, I like that pink. Nope, we're going with the pink. So I'm getting quite a few strips out of one piece. So let's add him. And I think I need a beige. There was one I was heading to. This one, this goldy colour. It's very yellow. It's not exactly beige, but anyway, let's take a chunk of that one. Okay, I think that will do for a moment. So let's cut these strips. Trying to keep them as even as I can, but like I said, if you get your ruler out and draw some lines, and I'm going to try and make it feel a little scrappy. They're different widths. I think the blue weaving project I did on the cover of that journal, and even the one in the book, the tag, they were all even widths. So I don't think I've done one that's uneven like this. Now the theory is we weave them over and under each other. Now you can do it evenly, you know, over, under, over, under. But I'm going to mix it up a little bit, I think. Skip some, jump over some. That'll help me ensure that I get this word everyday gift somewhere in amongst it. I think that's a good start. We've got the 3 colours. Now we want to read it. I think we need to go that way. So I'm just going to lie them down. Maybe I should stop the video, go and have a shower, warm up. See what I mean by just throwing them down? So I'm going to need more fabric. And now I do want to also put some lace in there. So that's where we're at so far. I think I could do with one more colour. What colour do we have missing here? There was a writing. There's this guy, but I sort of feel like he's heading in a different direction. What about a spot? Pink spot? A green spot? I don't know. I'm thinking, I think I'm going to go with the green. Or the bluey green. It's not even green, it's blue. Sorry guys, you're probably yelling at the screen going, gee girl, That looks blue to me. Oh, now I've got jelly roll strips everywhere. I knew it'd get out of control. Oh, my goodness. Look, piles of them. Anyway, let's cut this guy. Then I need to find a lace that we can weave in there too, because that'll help me build interest in the piece. And I'm going to then grab my applique pins or applique pins, depending what country you grew up and how you pronounce your words. Yeah, I think that'll work. Roughly. Like that. Okay, so we know we've got enough fabric to cover it. We need to have a look at lace. Let me grab my lace bucket. There we go. Is there lace in here that'll go the length? There's a piece. That will work. Don't know about flowers. Oh, what a mess. I keep saying I'm going to tidy this up, but as you can see, there's some nice fabric that shouldn't be in there. We're not going to tidy it up now, Corrine. There's some ribbon. Pull that out. I'm looking for... This is sort of scraps of bits. I don't know if I'm going to find anything in there. Maybe we go to our French lace. Have I got a really narrow one? Don't know if I do. Oh, hello. Ah, the little pack I got from Forage, I think, might have something in there that would work. Oh yeah, look. Here's some really old ones. Got to watch my colour scheme, but we can get away with a little bit of white. We can get away with a little bit of cream. Probably get away with that. Yep. That's probably not long enough. Oh, hello. Look at you, old girl. No, that's enough. There'll be something here, I'm thinking. Okay, now, oh gosh, it's cold. Stop complaining. I'm sure there's people who've got snow outside their craft room, and here I am sitting in a balmy 18, 20. No, it's probably a bit less than that. It feels like it's less. We've got rain coming, so it's, yeah, feeling like the weather's about to, you know, turn on us. So I'm just pulling them back off, putting them in a rough order, and then, you know, we go from there. I might take those to the side. Get that out. Hello, Caspar. Don't knock anything over. He's smooching. So the trick to it is to work out what you want over, under, etc. So we might do, I might put some lace through there. Seems a bit big. Yeah, I like that. Hope my phone's not about to ring. I might put it on silent. My staff will be starting to turn up at work, so I'll just pop it on silent for this video. So I'm going to do that there, that there. I like that. So we can see our word. Let's get this guy in next. Let's put that down through there. We could do with one through there. What are we going to use? I'm already mixing up what I had. Now, like I said, you can do over, under, over, under. But because because I want that word in there, I'm going to need to go a little bit over under wherever I want to go. Does that make sense? So I think do I move this over a bit? So I don't really have a colour that I want to use there. So I'm just going to shimmy everything over. This is a lot of fun. If you haven't tried this before, then maybe I can put a yellow little guy in underneath all that. Oh gosh, this is tricky. So I need to just flip that back and get this guy in next. Oh, take your time with it. It does work out, trust me. Famous last words. Yeah, that's better. Can see my words, a gift every day. We're getting our downward stripes happening now. I'm thinking I might bring the lace up on top of the stripes. Will I have a gap? I have a gap. We can always move that pink one across if it doesn't look right. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this top corner here. So what I do next is grab some of these little pins and just stab them all down. I'm not pinning through it because I have this mat and I'm going to use it to its biggest advantage, where you can just hold things down with the downward pin. When I'm happy that everything is where it is, I can then go along and turn these on their side so that the piece can be, you know, manipulated. Now, I'm just thinking about this ribbon. Do I take this opportunity to push through some ribbon in the weaving? You know what I might do is we will weave again on top of it. Yes, we will weave again on top of the woven fabric. That then allows me to bring in some of these shiny things. Then we could couch, oh here we go, we could couch again on top of that with our threads. That's what we're going to do, I think. Let's just focus on the fabric and the lace and get that down. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I need a fabric to come through. So we just lift up him, put him down. We will lift up those and we might scoot right through, because I like how that pink, the lace and the yellow work together. And then we can have a think about this side, and maybe, I think we need a narrow one. I like those roses there. So maybe we put that under there so that those roses go through. And that seam there could be a ribbon, you know, a ribbon then goes through so I don't lose my roses. Having said that, I probably will lose my roses because it's a bit hard to know how this is all going to play out. Casper, what are you doing? Get out from behind that door. It's been a nosy cat. I could probably do another piece of lace through. Yeah, I think we'll bring him across. So might put him underneath there and have a nice little piece showing there. So you get the general gist of it. It's a lot of fun. We'll make that white lace disappear now under there. And it can pop up. Yeah, I like that. So let's get a couple pins in position in case I knock this flying, because I'm pretty happy with that. Did I mention my fingers are cold? Oh. I'm gonna go and have another shower, warm up. I obviously didn't put enough clothes on to start the day. That's the problem. Okay. I like how I've got a big space there. I can do some stitching in there or some ribbon will lay through there. I might zoom in now so you can get a little bit more image of the detail that's coming together. So the next one, I love this text. I think that needs to be visible. So let's just get that sorted next. So the text is now showing. Down this side, we've got spots left. So let's do that. I like how those spots are going to frame the top edge of the piece. I actually like that. Got our text. Now we can pin it because we've just figured out our side. We can pin. Ow. I can't even pick up those pins. Oh. I need a wood fire in my craft room. Wouldn't that be nice? I bet some of you have a wood fire. I feel like I need a pop of yellow through there. Yep, that's better. And I've just got those little leaves. So that's a potential of embroidery that could happen there. It is coming together now. So I'm happy with that. That pink I like. Okay, now what have we got next? We've got another spot. We're going to need more fabric. So let's lift that. Put him, might put him underneath. I've already got a spot there, so he can go underneath. That can go over the top. We'll bring that forward. We'll get a double spot. Oh, we've lost our spot. Maybe that does go. Gosh, you could fiddle with this. Okay, start again. Let's get this guy down. And I'm going to pin him because I'm pulling at the piece and making a mess. Oh, I need to do that. Okay. That lace. Go there. Let's get the pink. Yep. Let's get that spot showing. I did think I was going to put that through, but that text doesn't really do much. The spot will probably get lost in the wash of ribbon. We'll go under the lace. Yep. We'll bring that guy up. See what that looks like. Yep, I like that. That looks interesting. So now let's get some pins into position. Now, we need some more fabric. I wonder, could we be tricky and use some of these, because if we position them right, we could fake it. So, for example, that goes there like that, disappears then under there and there. No, that's not going to work, but it would if I cover it with this piece. So I'm going to trim that. And then I'm going to bring this guy in so it looks like he is there. So I just need to make this guy the same size. So there you go. So if you've only got some little bits but you love them and you'd like to create a weaving out of them, let's say you've finished a project and you really would like a panel of weaving, you can use your scraps so that you get the impression that there's a bigger piece there, but we know that there's not, due to a little tricky maneuver here and there. Like that. How's that? Now we've got a little cream spot through. So let's pin him. I'm happy with that. I just need to pull that a little bit further along, because I'd say with my hand stitching, I could find that that becomes a little bit short. Now let's get this guy down. Yes. All right. What else can we use here? What colour could we bring across? Sort of need something that's wide. There's that bird. Don't cut into him. What about another piece of lace? So what I would need is just a bit of a patch here. Do I? Not if I do some lace through there. What else is in my bucket of lace here, my bag of lace? This little guy. Oh, he's an old boy. Look at him. Oh, look at that one. Doesn't match. Doesn't really match. It's too dirty. This one. That's better. So, let's just thinking of weaving something through. These words, I did look at that when I was cutting off. Let's get that into there. That there. I feel like I need to weave that a little bit more. So let's get that dot back up, that over there, that through there. Happy with that. So there's our bottom. I feel like I could easily cover that, and I've still got room to weave. So we've got this writing coming, but it goes nowhere, but no one will ever know that. Oh, look at this lace. I think I like this one better. So we would put that there. Maybe that there. And that under there. No, I want to see it. I don't want to hide it. And I might lift it up a little bit to there because I've got to stitch this edge into the panels of the Japanese bag. So I don't want that lace sort of, I guess, crashing into the side seams of the bag. You can just make out the word bloom on that little piece. Plus I can see the text leading to it. I've got some flowers there. Okay, that's it. So now I can comfortably trim that guy, that guy. That looks like it's crocheted. It is. Goodness me. I could look at lace all day. Like, have you guessed I'm a bit of a lace girl? Oh. There's a tiny little bit here. Let's get that in. So if we put that through, so we put it on top. We'll put it up the top here because then I can lift some of these edges to make it look like it's woven in. So we want to see it there on that one. It could disappear under him like that. Comes my husband for breakfast. So I might just hop up and shut the door so he can make himself a coffee and not be interrupted or interrupt me. So there we go, put that under there. So that looks like that lace goes further than it actually does. Yeah, I like that. We've got some nice lace. Let me just close this door, guys. Okay. Happy with that. So the trick now, and I've got a little morsel here that I can use maybe even on another panel another day. Okay, got some scraps left and I used a couple scraps, so that's pretty good effort considering. Love that sagey green, but I don't think I can get it in, can I? No, just leave it. There's enough there, like seriously, no one's going to look at it and go, oh, look at that, there's one little piece of sage green. So let's just pin those together. They can go back in the project box. I definitely think we've got, you know, a matching piece. That's going to look great. And a different technique. Should do a log cabin, shouldn't we? Maybe this is going to end up being like quilting panels. So the trick now is to turn all these pins. I might use some bigger ones actually, because that then allows me to scoot through maybe a few rows like that. And then I'll go through and invisible stitch the whole thing down. Lots of little stitches, take my time doing it, and then nothing is going to move. Then I'll start the next layer, which I'll do in the next video. We'll come back and we'll lay lace over it all. Oh, not lace, we've already done the lace. We'll do the ribbon. And then we'll stitch the ribbon all down. So it's just a bit of a process, and I think the whole, if we keep the weaving as our theme through the layers, I think it should look quite effective actually. And we sort of did that with this other panel. We stayed within the perimeter of just layering upon layering, but staying with the core design underneath. So if you've got a suggestion for another panel, and I'm thinking quilting techniques, or I don't know, this is weaving is probably not a quilting technique as such, but I'm thinking the log cabin might work for us. Don't know. I'm going to have to do a bit of research. I'm sure something will pop up. I do have this panel that I prepared while I was on my cruise that are in these tones, and I had thought of doing just a standard embroidery on it. Where is it? Where's the panel? I think I showed it to you last. Here it is. See this here? It's a piece of vintage cloth, and I just stitched it down layers. And my thought was one day I'll embroider something on it. I haven't even finished stitching here. I sort of thought there would be some flowers come up. And then when I saw it, I thought, well, it would work with this bag, just to have a side that had some embroidery, but I would need to cut it down. Maybe to that, which I can do. That doesn't worry me in the least. And I thought it might be like a breath of fresh air on this little heavily worked, you know, panelled thing. But I don't know. We'll see. There's no expectations on this particular scrappy bag. All of the others, I knew what I wanted to do, and I just followed it straight through from the start of the project to the end. Done. This one, I'm sort of using now the scrappy bag as a way to collect projects that I've done. So it's like the never-ending project. We go back to scrappy bag, and probably didn't need that pin there. It's heavily pinned already. And then when I saw Sonia show some examples, she had another one there from memory that was lots of little squares. It was a few weeks ago now that I watched that. Ow. Something sticking up in that nasty little pin cushion. Yeah, and it was lots of little squares stitched down. And I thought, oh, I like that too. But then this one caught my thoughts, and I thought, oh, that'd be good, because I really enjoyed doing the tag, and I was so wanting to do a bigger piece, hence the cover to that journal came to be. Okay, a few more pins. Oh, I think I've sort of caught the mat underneath a little bit, but I think I can ease it all off. I probably should have just used these little pins, but I want to try and pin as much as I can. So having that extra length of the standard pin. We need to create a pin cushion for my applique pins. Just a little itty bitty one. There's another project. Gosh, it just never ends, does it? Making things that you can use is a really good idea. I was actually looking at my grandmother's pin cushion. I'll have to show it to you one day. It'll probably come out in amongst the treasure hunt project, but it's this little dog. She always had it on her sewing table, so she'd have brides in to have fittings or bridesmaids, and this little dog. Who's opening the door? Casper. Hello, Casper. This little sausage dog thing. It's pretty worn. It was always sitting on a desk, and it'd slide it around, this little dog, and all the brides and bridesmaids would be like, oh, look at the cute puppy. And I've now got him. He's a bit worse for wear, mind you. I think that's pretty good, yeah. So now it's invisible stitch, just to make sure nothing moves, and that'll take a bit of time because there's a lot of layers here. So I'll just slowly work through. It'll give it a bit of a quilted look. Once it's all stitched, I can then trim off all these little bits, and that'll get my base done. So yeah, that'll work a treat. Then in the next video, whenever that may be, we will do some more weaving, except we will muck around with some ribbons and some sari silk. Oh gosh, yes, yes, yes. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that because I got a little bit of homework, so we could even weave in. Just stop. I'm going to wrangle my jelly roll. Oh my goodness, look at it. Jelly roll. I'm going to wrangle that into Law and Order. We can put back into our project box because we're not going to be doing any more until I get that invisible stitch done. We'll put all those little ribbons away. They're the threads that we used the first time. So we'll pop all them away. A little bit of sari silk. That's how I love to store my projects. Just have them, you know, all together, and then I can pull it, and I've got them all lined up like books on a shelf. So I can pull out the project that I want to work on that day, and everything's in there. Otherwise it goes back into my room, and I'll head off in different tangents and not get consistency. So yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, I really like that. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that, and I will see you all in the next video. Not sure what's playing tomorrow. We'll see. It might be a little bit more weaving. I'm just not sure. I haven't got the schedule near me to see what you'll be watching next, but surprise. All right, guys, I will leave you a piece and see you all soon. Bye for now.